Hello, welcome back to my darkroom. Happy quarantine. What else do you have to do? Yesterday I went out with a very old box camera and took a few images with that I thought were, well, whatever, but it was a good opportunity to test the camera because I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't just played with a new camera in a long time. So I grabbed my old Tower F11 Flash 120 box camera. You can't read it very well here, but it does say made in West Germany on it. This is kind of a fun camera to shoot, just like any other box camera though, let's be honest. The viewfinders, one on top here and one on the side for making landscape photos. Well, they're full of occlusions and fungus, and it's very hard to see through them. But the lens itself is pretty clean, and I managed to get a few decent pictures with it. The camera has two whole settings, incident and bulb. So on the instant position, when you press the shutter button right here, it just snaps a photo, just like that. If you rotate this to bulb, when you hold the trigger down, the shutter stays open. And that's it. That's all you got. And since it's set to F11, you basically have to go out on a bright day. Yesterday the sun wasn't out, it was overcast, but it was only thinly overcast, so there was still plenty of light. And I managed to get a few images that I made scans of. The first one is, well, it's just a tree. I was sitting in the car when I shot that one, so I just held it up to my eye. And I shot down the side of the camera and got exactly the shot I was going to get. For the second shot, I went out and stood on the street corner and held the camera down by my belly button, pointed it at this tree. When I was making this image, the tree filled the viewfinder, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get all the branches. I thought I was going to cut off on the left and right for sure. But this camera has a wider field of view than the viewfinders show. This is just a picture of my truck out on the street. I think it came through pretty well. Here is a picture of my foot. I just held the camera at about belly button height and pointed it down, just so I could see where the nearest focus was. And if you look near the top of the image, where the very edge of the concrete step is, that's the most in focus thing in this picture. So that tells me that the Tower box camera's closest focal length is really about 4 feet away. Like, you're not going to get anything in focus closer than 4 feet. And this last image I have here to show you is just a veneer wall hanger that I have in my dining room. And we just had ambient light coming in through the window, so I knew I had to put it in bulb mode and try to hold it steady for a moment. And I held the shutter open for, I don't know, almost half a second and let it go. And that's all the wobble I got, not very sharp. Of course, not very sharp when you're holding it. But there it is. And now let's take this box camera and open it up and have a real look at how you load it. It's not very difficult. As far as I'm aware, there's a button here and a button here that are supposed to hold the back on, but they don't anymore. For this camera, you just pull. The back comes right off. In the middle of the back, there's a small red window here. And when you have film in it, you'll see the number of the shot you have. This camera can do 8 exposures. You would load the new roll down here. This is flexi. So you push the film in here, lock it in place, roll it over these two rollers, catch it in the take-up spool, and wind. Simple. Once you get the arrow across the film back, line everything up again. And this camera held light tight. It worked pretty well. I'm impressed. It's a toy, it's a novelty. I'm probably never going to shoot it again. It's just going to sit on my shelf. But I had fun with it. And I think it's a handsome little thing. And with all metal construction, as far as box cameras go, I think that's less common. So yeah, that was the Tower F11 Flash. And it's called Flash. There's two holes here that I believe a flash bulb assembly is supposed to be mounted to. I don't have one for this camera, so I couldn't try that. But anyway, that's the Tower F11 Flash box camera for 120 film.